Good evening, and welcome to What's Your Story? My guest tonight is Diana Duxa Kurz. Over the past 18 years, she has helped hundreds of families cope with the loss of a child. She is here tonight to explain to us exactly how and why she has touched so many people. This is part 2 of a 2-part taping of this show. Please be conscious when the part 1 is aired. Remember, this is part 2. The first part, we talked about Cherish Our Children. Cherish Our Children is a walk that you will see from the taping that was designed to help families deal with the grief of a lost one. Part 2 is the second half of that walk and what happens that day at that particular event. How I look forward to that glorious day that I will hold you again. I love you, my little angel. That quote comes from the Christmas box. Diana, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What is an angel box statue, and what does it have to do with
The walk.
Cherish Our Children and the walk? Yes.
Well, the Christmas box angel statue was originally introduced to the world after the story, it's a bestseller book by Richard Paul Evans called The Christmas Box. And in that story, a woman mourns the loss of her little daughter at the foot of an angel statue. So the story is mostly fiction, but there was an angel statue known to have been destroyed. After the book came out, many parents were seeking out that angel statue as a place to mourn the loss of their children. Bereaved parents and their families were looking for a place so that they could find this angel and grieve and heal. Richard Paul Evans decided to commission an angel statue that would allow parents who were seeking this angel to have a new place to go to remember and honor their children. So in 1994, on December 6th, was the dedication of the first Christmas box angel statue. Now, December 6th was also, in the story, the day that the little girl died. So since 1994, people could apply to try to acquire a Christmas box angel for a placement somewhere in their community. And we did that after our second, in the 2 years after our first walk.
So that would have been 2009?
2002. We started our walk in 2000, our first walk.
2000.
And then in 2002,
okay.
we actually had the dedication of the Christmas box angel
at West
Meadow.
That's right. It's 18 years this year.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
At West Meadow Cemetery. The entrance of West Meadow Cemetery now has a Christmas box angel. And again, this was done with the devotion of a number of wonderful volunteers, our committee members, and others who spent all kinds of time and effort fundraising. We had to raise the funds to purchase the bronze angel and the granite base and the installation of all of it. And also, community, our town of Newington gave us the property to be able to place the angel there at the entrance to the cemetery. And Stonehenge Landscaping and others, Newington Electric, others all joined efforts to be able to light the angel up and have pavers and walls around her and, to really beautify the space.
Yes.
So that is where the angel in Newington sits now. There are over 120 Christmas box angels throughout the world, mostly US and Canada, but they're as far away as Japan. So we're one of around 120 Christmas box angel statues.
For the people who didn't see part 1 of this episode, let's just clarify. When in September is the walk?
Our walk is every year on the Sunday after Labor Day.
The Sunday after Labor Day.
After
Okay.
Labor Day weekend, the first Sunday after Labor Day weekend.
Okay.
At the Newington Memorial Funeral Home, registration from 12 to 1.
Okay.
The walk begins at 1. It's less than a mile up
Okay.
to the angel statue.
Right.
And that's where our program takes place.
Okay, so you are led from the funeral home traditionally by a bagpiper?
Yep.
And that bagpiper is, let's give him a shout out.
Patrick Whalen.
All right, Patrick Whalen.
Patrick Whalen's an amazing bagpiper, and he does this for no charge. He
Okay,
just,
so Mr. Whalen leads the group with
Yep.
police escort
Yep.
from the funeral home to the cemetery.
Right.
Then you arrive at the cemetery. What happens next?
At the cemetery, our program consists of everyone gathers, is seated if they would like, and we start with a song. Just there's no words, there's just a song to kind of bring us all together and find some stillness. And then I have a couple of very short comments, and then a bereaved parent speaks and shares their story and opens their heart to all the others who are here. And then our vocalist will sing something with accompaniment, which is usually a very moving song. That music seems to really be a very big force in this program, and people get great comfort from it. After the song is sung, I will read the name of each child being remembered. And at that time, the people or the person who is here to remember that child will walk forward to the angel statue and place a white flower with a personal message written on a card in the arms of the angel or at the base at her feet. And so that goes on for, maybe 20 minutes or so.
I've attended that event, as you know.
Yes.
And I was struck at the cemetery by the simplicity and the beauty and the grief, the ever-present grief, the stream of tears, the hugging, people, perfect strangers who are bound together in a moment that took something or someone they love.
That's right.
And we will forever be bound in that dance that will never stop. So I was there, I witnessed it, I saw it, I saw people weep.
Yeah. And, this was what it was for, so that these families can find support from one another, that they could feel free to mourn, knowing that being surrounded by others who experience this pain only understand. So then our program finishes with a release of White Doves, and those are released to music by Celine Dion.
Okay.
Called a song called "Fly," which, from what I understand, was written because she lost her niece. So it was very meaningful as well. And that concludes the program. It's, like you said, it's just simple and beautiful, but is so meaningful to so many people who have come year after year after year, put everything aside because this is the day to honor their child,
Let's talk about the release of the doves.
Okay. They're beautiful. They're white doves, and they circle above our heads during the song, and then they find their way home. And the symbolic message of returning home again is just so profound, and it's beautiful. The little children who are there absolutely love it. We've noticed that as the years have gone by, the walk and the program is being attended by more and more families, children who come and walk to remember sisters, brothers, cousins, schoolmates, friends, others who have been have been impacted. They're supporting their family, and so it's really become a very a broader group of people, than ever before, and new families all the time.
In our Western culture, we have, of course, cremation, but we largely still inter. I would guess that's true. You'd have to correct me as a professional on it, but I would guess we largely still inter.
Yes, we largely still inter, and oftentimes it's the cremated remains that we're interring.
Now, it would seem to me that, and I'm not knocking either one, so I don't want to get in trouble, but a place to go, and if the cremation isn't there, you know what I mean? A place to go and actually look at the names of the headstones. It seems to me that would be value, of great value and importance. Because in a way, even though they're gone, you could still go and speak to them. Do you think maybe?
I think for many people, they find great comfort and necessity to be able to go to a grave, a place where their loved one is buried. For many families, that's not necessary. So it's, here again, it's a unique feeling. It's something that a family and a bereaved family needs to sort out what's going to be right for them, At the Angel site, we do have little pavers. No children are buried there, but there are little pavers that honor a child. So families can purchase a paver that will have, they can decide what they want on it, their child's name and maybe a short little sentiment, and then they're placed at the Angel site in little groups, throughout the area there. And even if a child is buried or cremated or whatever a family may have decided was best suited them, they still love the idea that their children's names are here in this space that is dedicated only to children who have died. And so you'll drive by the West Meadow Cemetery and you look over at that Angel and there are people there sitting on the wall just finding peace or finding stillness or just remembering or praying or having a cup of coffee. It's a very beautiful park-like setting that offers a remarkable amount of tranquility and hopefulness.
Now, as I understand it, there are no religious restrictions of any kind.
No.
Everybody of any religion or no religion is welcome to participate. Would you speak a little bit about that?
The walk, the Angel statue, the program, there's no religious component to it. This is really for people to find comfort in one another and being together and having a chance to be able to honor their child and share the love that they have for their child with others, express it freely and openly.
I think I was astounded by the fact that absolute strangers would hug you unabashedly and would weep on your shoulder. And ordinarily, if we passed them in the street, we didn't even give each other the time of day.
Yeah, it is remarkable that this walk, this program, this day gives permission to be able to help to just lean on one another. There are people there who don't know each other at all, just like you're saying, who would hug one another to kind of help them get through this sorrow or this sadness, this moment in time where they couldn't control their tears. Parents were offering others great support. It was a beautiful thing to see. Be a better world if we saw a little more of that. But
it's a shame that it takes grief like that to show us the real significance of each other.
That's right. Yeah. But that's what this day is for, is to be able to find some, find some hope and to find some courage, and to know that others are there to support you. You're not alone in this journey. And that's one of the comments that we've received so often is after the walk from families who have attended the program have gotten back to us and said, it felt so good knowing that I'm not alone, that the things that I'm feeling, the way that I'm getting through this is something that I don't have to be alone in it. I know that there are others, and being surrounded by others just is uplifting. So
you had told me during my first interview with you that you still reach out to people years after you've been involved with them in the loss of a loved one.
Yes,
that's an extraordinary thing to do.
It's just what we do, and it's.
I mean, people don't ordinarily think. Forgive me, I don't mean to speak for people. I'll speak for this person. I don't ordinarily think of a funeral home as my buddy or my friend. You know what I mean?
I do.
Okay.
I'm sure I do. Honestly, the programs that we offer, the friendships that we form with families, many times just goes on and on. And we have a holiday program in December that is open to the public at our 2 locations. It here again is very well attended, and some people will come year after year. In the busyness of the holidays and the craziness of everything between, say, Thanksgiving through to the end of the year, there's no stillness. You know, it's just a mad dash. It's a giant rush. And this day, families have found is a time to just spend time and just remember their loved one, you know, to honor them and to say, I'm not forgetting you and all the things that are going on. This is a day where, again, I can be surrounded by others who are expressing their love. They make a little ornament and we place it on our tree. The name is read of the person they're remembering, and there's beautiful music and a harpist, and, you know, it's just another way that we feel we can reach out past just funeral services. And people find it to be very helpful, and that's really all we're trying to do.
How do you retain your composure through that?
I'm really not really that good at it usually, but I do the best I can. You know, we cry together, and it's just what you do.
It's just what you do.
Yeah.
Now, it has occurred to me that parents have lost children to car accidents, to suicides. I can't, one of the worst things must be coming home and finding your child dead at his or her own hands. When I was at your ceremony, I overheard conversations and got involved in conversations with people who were telling their stories. And it seems to me that that walk and that Christmas Box Angel presentation, as you said, freed people to tell their stories because they needed to share their stories of how, why, and what happened to them as a result.
Right.
As if memory serves me correctly, I was there with a lady who had just lost a child a few months before. And she talked openly about what she discovered, didn't know that he was depressed, missed all the signs, and she felt like she couldn't breathe. And she said, I've been feeling like I can't breathe ever since he left.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to say about this whole event that's sponsored by you and your family is the magnificent way that you've offered people just downright plain everyday compassion and understanding. It's a magnificent thing that you're doing.
Thank you.
It really is a magnificent thing that you're doing.
Thank you. We're honored to do it.
Absolutely. It gives people an opportunity to get together and share.
On their own terms.
On their own terms, something that's incomprehensible, unspeakable, and haunting every day for the rest of your life. One woman told me that there was her life before and her life after.
That's right.
She said that up to that point, that part is gone, and now it's this again. And they all thanked the funeral home and thought what a wonderful, beautiful expression it was for you guys to come together and do that. The connotation of the angel.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
In this, the angel statue?
Yes.
She is a sign of hope. You know, a place where people can mourn to remember their children. If you're taking it, you know, from the way that it was meant, from the book, and it offered in the book a place for a mother to go for days on end and just cry and be sorrowful to remember her little daughter who had died. And so that's kind of what the angel is. It's a token of hope. You know, it's a place. It's a light-filled area that can give a bereaved person who has lost a child a place to go, you know, to feel a little better.
There's always a connotation that an angel is a protector, sits on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Where were you when I needed you to watch over my child? That kind of feeling is expressed as well.
Yeah.
It's a cycle that people must have to live through in order to come to grips, if you ever do come to grips with it.
Yeah.
Now, so we start the march at the funeral home. We arrive at the cemetery. We have the ceremony. The doves are released. The music is played.
Right.
And we hug each other. And we cry a lot. And we linger because we don't want to leave because we're still feeling whatever it is.
Wander around the angel.
Whatever it is, right.
Yep.
Several people had children or relatives buried in the cemetery. So they left to go and visit the grave sites and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So what I'm wondering as I sit here talking to you about this magnificent event with the angel and with your marching, you know, I'm wondering how can people get involved in the planning of these events? You had a magnificent speaker there the last time, and I don't have her permission to mention her name, so I won't, but she did a terrific job.
She was wonderful.
Yes, and I'm wondering how a parent watching this show who's lost a loved one, who now knows about, you know, Cherish Our Child, how can they get involved? What can they do?
They can call us at the funeral home at Newington Memorial. They can ask to speak with me, Diana, and if they wanted to volunteer, they could, or if they wanted to purchase a paver to be able to have their child's name over at the Angel site, or if they wanted to help us on the walk in any fashion, all they have to do is just give us a call. If they want to just be kept abreast of, you know, some of the things that we do at the funeral home, we could put them on our mailing list. Just call and ask for me, and we'll talk.
And you have a committee that plans the
walk.
event, the
Yep.
walk. And
we have a committee of bereaved parents, and if they wanted to have input there, they'd be welcome. This group
How are
of
committee
parents,
members chosen?
This group of parents has been with us from the very beginning.
Okay.
Almost all of them.
Okay.
Since 2000.
Okay.
And you know, we've just been trudging along and you know, continuing to make this happen. Although the walk is free, some people who attend the walk will buy T-shirts, or they'll make donations to the Angel, and that helps us maintain the site.
Yeah. Sure.
And so that's what we use the donations for. And even if someone didn't call but just wanted to show up at one of the programs that we offer and seek me out, that would be perfectly fine too. Our next event is our holiday programs at the funeral homes, but then at the Angel, always on December 6th, we do have a very intimate candle lighting ceremony. So
who are invited to that? Who are the people?
Anyone who's lost a child.
Okay.
So this is parents who have lost a child and their supporters. You know,
snow, sleet, hail, December 6th.
It's never going to be canceled. So
Okay.
we come bundled up and we spend some time together. And the program is December 6th, that anyone who has a Christmas box angel, they're having a program on December 6th at 7 p.m.
Which is why in the book that when the young lady died.
That's right.
In the book.
That's when the little girl died, yeah.
So you've had that for 16 years?
Since 2002.
Yes.
Since 2002. And so, yes, that's part of if you apply to have this angel statue erected and you are approved, then that's part of the commitment, is to have some type of a ceremony. So that whole little circle around the angel is filled with people, and every year that grows. And it's dark in December at 7 p.m., and so it's just a very, very small candle lighting ceremony with remembering children and some music, and you know, it's no more than 20 minutes long or so, half hour. It's beautiful.
It is. Yes, it is. It's magnificent, and you know, we're not supposed to promote anything, but what I'm saying to family members is, if you are looking for a way to deal with your grief over the loss of a child or the loss of a loved one, that would be a very, very important step toward helping you heal.
Yeah.
And what you guys are doing is fantastic. I don't think you know the good that has come from this in so many, many ways.
Thank you.
People have started organizations, people have bound together, people have found strength where they thought no strength existed, and people have grown to appreciate the things in life that are important versus the things that matter so little. So all of those things combined, I'm very, very honored to have had you come here and do this show tonight.
Thank you.
And, you know, talk to the viewing audience. Somebody out there might be suffering right now.
Right.
The purpose of our show is to inspire people, to help people, and that's precisely what your purpose is.
Oh, that's
So
great. I'm grateful to be here. I'm glad we could share some information.
Absolutely. Perhaps you can come back. Perhaps you can come back.
Love to.
Okay. That's all the time we have for tonight's show. My thanks to my guest, Diana Duxa Kurz, for sharing her story. Everybody has a story. What's yours? Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, good night.